congratulations on the nomination for Studio City. Oh my goodness. I mean, I guess when you look in the mirror, is it surreal that all of this is happening? Thinking back, I'm sure, to those difficult days that you faced and now here.
I mean, just last week alone was so many highs, so many lows, so much intensity. Honestly, it's a little bit just kind of like what being trans is like.
What do you mean by that?
You know, our lives are constantly up for debate, right? The things that most people take for granted, right? That we have to sort of just going to the bathroom, going to school, going out in public can be so difficult. And when people feel free to make jokes about you that can, or tweet about you in ways that can really like harm and impact your life, everything feels so much more intense kind of all the time.
To be able to use your art, your talent to also break through. I mean, here, obviously, in your day-to-day personal life, I'm sure there are many conversations that you have, but to have your art do it and to be nominated for, something that, actors who've been doing this far longer, this has escaped them. How does that feel?
It feels kind of indescribable in a way, honestly.
Yeah.
It's such an honor for me personally, but I'm always mindful of the fact that, I represent a community. I know I'm just one person, right? I don't mean that I'm telling everybody's story, but that, transgender men there are many of us who are actors. There are many of us working in Hollywood. I'm actually the first nominated for an acting Emmy. There are other trans men who have been nominated, who have won other Emmys, which is amazing, right? And again, like for them to go unnoticed, right? So I'm just hoping that this spotlight really casts a bright light on my community.
I mean, I think, listen, we know that obviously the Supreme Court decision, and we can rattle off policy and politics all day long, but I can tell you, as a woman, as a Black woman in television, the representation in many cases matter more than some of the political things that get thrown in everyone's direction these days, and many times just oversaturated. It's being able to turn on a show like yours, seeing a character like yours, that sometimes makes it relatable.
Absolutely. I mean, I always say, if you don't see yourself, you don't know how to be yourself. And when the representation isn't authentic or truthful, right, as a Black woman, right, when it's not true to who you are, it really makes an impact on how you live your life.
And you've been also talking very openly about your support for Black transgender women. We actually recently spoke with NBA player Reggie Bullock. His sister Maya was a victim of violence and lost her life. Why did that become something so important for you to focus on, in addition to everything else you're trying to bring to the forefront of the conversation?
Well, I'm very much an all for one, one for all kind of person, right? We're all interconnected, and that's just how we have to do life. Black transgender women face a magnified discrimination, right? First there's racism, then there's sexism because they're women, then there's transphobia, and usually on top of that, there's poverty because of the discrimination of all of those parts of who they are. And, at a societal level, to prioritize safety for Black trans women and other trans people of color, we have to address big issues, right? Like poverty, homelessness, institutional violence by the police and the prison system. What can I do? Well, I know that as a white person, right, I have had an ease of moving through life for all of my life that simply gives me more energy in life, right? And as a trans person, I know how to explain this stuff to people, right? I'm from the South, right? Like I've been helping people understand this for a long time who kind of were resistant to it. So if I can use my privilege, right, as a way of making it easier for the rest of my community, I'm here for that. It's my commitment.